Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is a cool but a beautiful day here in Georgia. And, well, it has officially been 1 year since I started the YouTube channel. And, well, that's what this whole video is all about. So, let's get it. Now, you guys may be wondering, why am I outside? Well, it's too nice of a day. It's just cool, but it's a nice day to be out. And I figured, well, let's just talk about what I have done in the last year on YouTube, because that has been, man, a roller coaster of a ride. But I wanted to kind of give everybody that is thinking about YouTube or that is, kind of still new to YouTube, what my experience has been over the year, because it has been great. I can't complain. It's been really good. But there have been some times that I've been like, oh, now not all of my videos have done very well. I've had some really big failures. I've had some really good ones as well. So it's been kind of all over the place. But those of you who've never seen this channel that I do a little bit of everything. And I feel like that's what most people tell you is not to do on YouTube. Everybody says get a niche or niche, whatever. Get a niche and stick with that. But, for me, that is not what I wanted. I kind of wanted it to be more about the things that I do, because I like to do a lot of different things, whether it's the side-by-sides that we just got into, the machining, the laser engraving, man, the pinball machines, everything we do on this channel. There's so much that I do, and I just want to bring you guys along for it. And I just don't feel like, for me, and what I want the channel to be, is I don't want it to be stuck to one type of particular content, and that is it. Now, does that hurt me? More than likely, yes, because some of you don't care about some of the other adventures, but at the end of the day, I don't want to be stuck to that one particular thing. So, we do a little bit of everything on this channel. Now, for those of you just starting out, I would say it is probably much easier to actually pick something and stick to that and grow off of that. But just remember, you're going to be stuck to that for your entire time, more than likely. Now, what I have learned is that, a lot of people talk about the algorithm and how, how YouTube doesn't push this video or push that video. I've had videos that have been successfully, at least in my opinion, very successful for me. I've got a couple that are in the 20,000 views, long form videos, and then I've got some that, I've got one that's actually 80,000+ views. And the reality is if the video is good enough, or I say good enough, if the video is being watched, it generally gets pushed. And yes, the trick is it needs to go to the right audience to get picked up. And that's where you have to think YouTube is such a huge platform. And that's why everybody says you need to, to get down to a niche, is you need to pick a topic and kind of stick with that, because once you start gaining traction with that, it's much easier to get your video seen. But, for me, that just wasn't the right answer. And I guess if you want to say what I want the topic to be is actually me. So, I'd rather the channel be about me and what I like to do than versus just sticking to machining or just sticking to the barndominium stuff. So, it may slow down my progress, but at the end of the day, that's what I want my channel to be. And if my channel's not that, then I don't want the channel. Is that kind of sounds a little weird, I guess, kind of a little rude, but that's what I'm doing it for, is I'm doing it to be me and to show me and what I do and what I like to do. And hopefully some of you guys enjoy that. But to say there's a secret with the algorithm, there's really not. The reality is, I still think the biggest thing is really, I don't know. I've had successful videos, in my opinion, on quite a few different topics. The barndominium one, mainly, I think, because of, where I talk about the price and what it actually costs. So that was, a pretty successful video, still going really strong. And it has really good views. And then I have the ones with my truck, with a Tundra issue that I've been having to go on with the motor replacement and stuff like that. So those videos have done pretty good. I've even had some of my pinball stuff do really good, even though it's a much smaller market. So you can still be diverse with your content and still have success. Now, I will tell you, the best success has been the one with the barn dominium cost. But on the same token, I have had some of those with the barn dominium that have not done very well. And the same goes for every category of video I have. Now, I'll tell you, the pinball ones aren't driving in the 20,000 views. They just don't, because there's not a huge market there. But you got to realize that too, when you're making these content, is that's the other factor, is is anybody actually watching these types of videos, and how many actually are? Because each topic will have a vast different amount of people that are actually watching it. But some of the hardest things that I have found to be is actually getting people to click on your video is probably the hardest thing of all. Your thumbnails, I have struggled. I have tried different things. I don't never like how my thumbnails look. I keep playing with them and just don't feel like a lot of times they turn out great. But I'm not good at that. I'm just not good. I'm not good at a lot of things, honestly. I'm just okay at a lot of things. And that's kind of how I am when it comes to the thumbnails. It's just trying to figure out what people like and what looks appeasing. I have struggled back and forth quite a bit. What do people really want to click on? But don't clickbait it. Don't clickbait and not, deliver what you promise. The other thing is really just keeping people throughout the entire video. I think I'd have to look, people that actually watch through, if you took my view count, it's probably around 30-something%, like low 30s. Let's be honest. It's probably, I'd probably write at 30% is the average that, people that actually click on the video and stay throughout is around that, I would think. I got to look and see. We're going to look at the analytics. But that is a struggle keeping there, because people don't want to just watch things just to watch things. They want to keep entertained. And some of my videos I've, played around with the machining. I've done some that I'm more talkative in and discussing the process. Some of them I'm more of just showing the process. Same thing with, some of my other videos. The pinball stuff, I kind of try to talk a little bit more about. And, I'm not a good pinball player, but I enjoy it. So I try to be more myself in there. Same thing with the razor stuff we started. I try to be a little bit more of my stuff, more myself, the DIY stuff. I feel like people do watch videos more when I'm more of myself in there than just like kind of showing the process. And I've really kind of struggled with that. The more you show yourself, generally the more people end up watching, people more connect with you, which is really what I want for my channel. I want people to connect with me and really enjoy the stuff that I do. So, I want to share my experience with that and what it has been, because it has been a huge roller coaster. I've had some very successful videos, in my opinion, and I've had some really crappy videos. So, at least as far as numbers go. And honestly, some of the ones you think we're going to do better do like crap, and the ones you think are going to do like crap do better. But let's jump into what I've actually done and let's talk about it. All right, so I'm just gonna show you guys the very first thing. This shows my shorts along with my long form videos that I have done throughout my entire year on YouTube. And as you can see, I'm currently sitting at 583,000, almost 584,000 views within the past year. So if you take a look at the first one, is actually my long form video about the barn dominium and how much it actually costs. And that has done very, very well. Really happy with how well that's turned out. Actually has some of the highest retention. I say highest retention. It's not really highest retention rate, but it has some of the longest durations of views. It's at 6 minutes and 10 seconds of duration just on that one video. But then my next highest video is sitting at 23,000. And that was the actually first video that I produced that really became a cluster to an extent. And that video is all about doing our DIY star ceiling in our game room. Now, the problem with that video is when I made that video, I used a software called Movavi, and that software had music in there, and I assumed, keyword is assumed there, that it would be okay to use that music in my video. The problem is it got copyrighted, and I had to go back and try to redo it. Now the problem is that YouTube doesn't have a very good editor that you can like go and pull some of this stuff out. And I had to gotten lucky to an extent, I guess lucky to an extent. They actually had given me a thing to use an AI tool to remove the copyrighted portion. The problem is that was like the entire video was copyrighted because I had backing music to everything all the way through. And with that doing that, it really kind of messed up my video to an extent, the audio quality. It kind of bleeped it a little bit in some places, made it kind of like false artifacts in there. So then I tried to cover it up with more music from YouTube that was, copyrighted free or whatever you want to say, and it worked to an extent. But that video, I'm really disappointed in how well that how that video turned out, and for it to have as many views as it got. I don't know. It really kind of just, it didn't. I was disappointed, put it that way. And I tried to redo that video. I tried to redo it with more music behind it, thinking, different thumbnail, thinking, okay, well, maybe this is the one that'll take off and I can just stop that other one altogether. Well, it never took off. That video, I think, is sitting at 1,000 views. And honestly, the rest of the videos with the star ceiling haven't done as well, or I've done updates and stuff. But, I try to show people, because there are people asking and questioning, how well is this thing held up? And it's been a year. It's been over a year since we installed that thing. And those videos just haven't done as well. But it's the nature of the beast is what I've learned, and I move on from it. But overall, I have had very, pretty decent success. 17,000 views on another video. Now, a lot of my short form videos have done, around the 10,000. Some of these are up to 27,000 was the highest one I've had. But I have quit that altogether. Now, I would say my opinion on it is don't not do it to help grow your channel. I still think it's great to still put some content out there, because what to me, and this is all theory, but if there was let's say there was a week that I was kind of lulling in videos on a certain day, I could generally post a video, even a short, and it would kind of like help my other videos pick up. And so if you get into a spot where you feel like, oh, it's a little lower than I want it to be, throw a little short in there and see how it does, and see if it doesn't uptick your rest of your videos, because I do think, in my opinion, that it helps with even your long forms of getting extra views, because I feel like it just, YouTube sees you're putting something out and they're like, oh, well, let me push a little bit, let me push a couple more of these videos and see how they do. So I would recommend to still do shorts, but I haven't done them in a while because I haven't really felt the need to at this point, at least right now, lately, because my videos I've been doing pretty decent on videos recently. Now it's mainly been one video that has done very well. Of course, the how to, or how much a barndominium cost has been doing the best, but I feel like it's doing a good amount every day. So I've been very happy with it. I haven't put another short out. So whether or not I should, I'll probably experiment with that. But I've kind of stopped shorts for a little bit. But I say that to say don't not do them, in my opinion. Now you'll see my entire video collection is really kind of random. There is stuff, whether it's, talking about my Tundra, or the star ceiling we built, or how to install lights on a barn dominium. I mean, I've got videos all over the place. I've even got stuff down here at the bottom where there's pinball stuff. There's things for our side-by-sides that I started. Even the JB Weld test that I've done. So I'm doing all sorts of different videos on this channel. And in my opinion, if you want to be stuck into one type of video, that's fine. Do it that way. But to me, I kind of want the channel to be more about me and what we do. And so I'm not going to, at least not right now. I'm still, like I said, I've been happy with the growth of it. I'm not going to stick myself into one type of video. It's just not what I'm going to do. I'm here to do all my different videos. And if they flop, they flop. And if they do well, they do well. So, I want them all to do well. Don't get me wrong. I want them all to do well. But I've realized that there are certain topics that aren't going to do as good, but if I'm already doing that topic, why not make a video on it? Because some people are going to watch it. Even if it's only 100 people or 50 people, that's still a room of 50 people that have watched that video. That's just my take on it. And, I will tell you, the hardest thing on YouTube has been over the past year is just realizing, not every video is going to do great. And really, you're not going to necessarily get paid off on every video. These videos there's videos I spent 10, 15, 20 hours on that don't even have 100 views or have, maybe a couple hundred views. And the reality is, it was a video I did. I still enjoyed doing it. I learned from it. Whether you realize it or not, you're always still learning things, whether or not it's editing or, maybe I should do different keywords here and there. So don't necessarily get down because it doesn't do as good as you want. We all want those million plus views on every video, but the reality is it takes a lot of time to get to that point if you get to that point. But, you got to enjoy the process. And I will tell you, I try to do a couple videos a week is what I was trying to do for the longest time. And it burned me out. With a 2.5-year-old, a wife, a full-time job, plus you're still trying to do all your other stuff that you enjoy. That's why I try to film what I do, because it's easier for me to do that because I'm already going to be out on the razor this weekend riding, or we're going to be playing pinball this weekend, or a new game just come out, or I'm machining this and it may be interesting. So it's easier for me to do that, and it's still content that some people enjoy, and it may not be your mass audience, but there's still some that may enjoy it. I have experimented so much over the past year on hashtags and file name. I'll tell you, the video that I've got sitting that is doing the best, I didn't do anything, and it's 8,400 watch hours alone. And for those of you wondering, it takes 4,000 watch hours to get monetized, and that video alone has 8,400 watch hours on it at 81,000 views. And it is, let's see, it is officially, how many days old is it? So it was uploaded August 31st, and here we are in December 21st, and it's already done that. So I'm very, very happy with that video. Now, on the same token, I've got videos that are 11 months old that haven't done so well, or even some that are 6 months old that haven't even done 100 views. So you just never know, though. Sometimes you never know what's going to take off. Now, I will tell you too, the biggest struggle I've had to get to monetization was not necessarily the watch hours, but it was getting actually the subscriber count. Now, I will tell you, over the last couple months, it went from 1,000 to 1,500, much shorter than it did from 0 to 1,000. That took a while to get to 1,000, and I had 4,000 hours well before I had 1,000, subscribers. So I think that's something you'll struggle with. As I say that, everybody's different, but that has been my experience. It was harder to get the 1,000 subscribers to get to monetization than it was the watch hours. Now, people are going to say that, you're doing it for fun. And yes, I am doing it for fun to an extent, but I'm also doing it for monetization. I'm not going to lie. At the end of the day, it takes a lot of time to make these videos. And I think if you're doing it just for fun, and you're not really worried about it, that's probably one thing, but you're probably not also going to be worried about scheduling, doing a video a week. But I know for me, for me to do a video a week, it's very tough still, because there's so much I have going on a lot of times that I'd be honest that, I don't know, maybe at some point, if I wasn't monetized, I would not actually do it. But if I wasn't making anything off of it, I don't know if I could continue on for years and years and years, because it's just very, very tough. And, you want that little bit of reward to an extent. And whether it be right or wrong, the monetization side of things to me is very helpful in motivation. It helps me push on and do more videos. And it helps me to get better to an extent, because I have been able to buy, a little bit better camera. I've been able to buy a microphone. So it helps me, progress the channel. And it is a big motivator. I'm not going to lie. It's a big motivator for me. And you can hate me for that or like me for that. It's just being honest. Same thing with the Barndominium. video and the cost. I was being honest. A lot of people thought it was a high price. Some people thought it was, fair price. At the end of the day, that's just what it costs. And that's just being upfront about it, because I feel like these topics are not very well spoken about and there's not a lot of information on. So, I just want to give my 2 cents on what has actually happened and what my experience is, because it may help somebody. And whether it motivates you to do it more or motivates you to quit, that's up in the air. But, this has been what my experience has been. And yes, we're going to actually have a whole nother video talking about monetization and about how much it actually has made me over the last 2.5 months, because I have been very happy with it. It's not where I want to be at the end of the day. I would love to be able to make this a full-time job, but I'm nowhere near that by any means. But it is giving me, a little bit of money here and there to actually help try to grow this channel more and try to produce better content. Who knows? Maybe one day I can actually hire somebody to do the filming, hold the camera instead of me holding the camera and setting it up 15 million different times. Or maybe it'll allow me to hire an editor that actually knows what they're doing instead of me just trying my best and knowing what I'm doing or don't know what I'm doing. So, that's my 2 cents on it. That's been my past year on YouTube. And, if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. I try not to kill my subscribers of saying, hey, you need to subscribe, you need to hit the bell. I don't really do any of that. I do have that first little thing that my intro type of deal into the channel, but it's, I try not to do that, because it to me kind of aggravates me more sometimes when I see that go on. I'd rather somebody, subscribe that really wants to watch the channel or watch me, and I shouldn't have to force it down you to an extent. So, I do things a lot different than most people, but like I said, been really happy. 1,500 plus subscribers, actually 1,507. I just looked, so it's been steadily growing. The past year has been great, and yeah, we're gonna keep this going. But for this one, we're done. I'm gonna go find something to drink because I'm thirsty, and yeah, I'm getting out of here. But we'll catch you next time.